Upstone considers aestheticism as one of the precursors to literary theory. Aestheticism finds its roots in the romantic ideas of John Keats, the writings of John Ruskin, and the pre-Raphaelite movement. Unlike American Transcendentalist movement or pre-Raphaelite tradition, aestheticism defines thinking about literature beyond national literary identities. Aestheticism discusses the role of art in relation to society. The first phase of aestheticism was predisposed towards pre-Raphaelites and centers on the contribution of Walter Pater. Aestheticism was greatly influenced by pre-Raphaelite ideas. They rejected the narrative in favor of imagery and atmosphere. They were concerned with the nature of beauty. Aestheticism is concerned with the style and form of a literary work rather than its content. Walter Pater's book The Renaissance can be considered as an extension of pre-Raphaelite tradition. Pater argued that art was intensely personal and it was the experience of art rather than the object that should be the central focus of artistic enterprise. The sole aim of art is its pursuit of aesthetic experience. Therefore, the first step towards aesthetic criticism is to see the object as in itself it really is. One should ask the question, what effect does a work of art produce on me? Does it give me pleasure? If so, what sort or degree of pleasure? How is my nature altered by its presence or under its influence? An aesthetic critic addresses these questions. Pater invokes the phrase art for art's sake, which was first used by French philosopher Victor Cousin in 1818. The phrase art for art's sake suggests that literature must be created not for any inherent moral or political purpose, but purely for the sake of beauty it creates. He also discusses that aesthetic criticism, which refuses traditional historiography for the idea of multiple truths that challenge the idea of any forthright ability to access past. The focus is therefore on the pleasure of the here and now. Pater refers this as ecstatic moment. Unlike realism, which looks back into history to draw meaning, aestheticism focuses on the present experience. In the second phase, we see the development of aestheticism developing an interest towards symbolism and decadence. Symbolism is a late 19th century movement using symbols and images to express ideas, emotions, and states of mind. Symbolism rejects realist description and replaces it with power symbolic language, allusions, images, and world pictures to suggest ideas. The aim of a writer is not to capture a thing, but rather capture the effect or the experience of it. Aestheticism is also defined in relation to decadence as the rejection of moral and political concerns indulged in the promotion of the artistic experience. The decadence movement refers to those writers associated with aestheticism whose rejection of realism for the pursuit of beauty and artistic experience without moral and political purpose. Holbrook Jackson identifies decadence as having four key features: artificiality, egotism, curiosity, and perversity. In these features, we see the critic's interest in artistry rather than nature. Oscar Wilde argues that art is individualism. The purpose of art for Wilde is not the revelation of truth but untruth, the beautiful artifice that only the artist can achieve. Like modernism, decadence shares the attachment to the symbol and rejection of objective reality and naturalism. New aestheticism does not entirely avoid the moral or political value of literature. It attempts to emphasize the unique place of literature and its strangeness as form identical with other written discourses. New aestheticism evades truth as it is reinvented on each reading in a dialogue between the reader and text. Therefore, new aestheticism returns to a close scrutiny of the form and language of a text. It sees the form of the text as a response to thematic interests and how a text can assist in the development of the ethical and political readings. Harold Bloom's The Western Canon is a central text on new aestheticism. Bloom argues that writing can only be usefully judged in terms of form, and through form we can recognize the literary quality. The Western canon in literature is defined as a body of works judged to be of the greatest artistic merit and value in shaping Western thought and culture.